Today we're answering the question, how many sketchbooks, journals, notebooks does one person really need? And I say as many as you want. I have a lot, and I have a lot for two reasons. One, they make me happy, and that's the most important reason. Two, I use them for different purposes. So let's take a look into my big stack of books.
This video was inspired by Paige Tyler, who I follow on Instagram and Substack. She has a fun blog on Substack called the Do It Ugly Project. She recently shared all of her notebooks and journals and sketchbooks. And I don't know about you guys, but I love seeing how other artists do things and learning from them. So, as I go through and talk about some of these things, you may notice that I refer to several different artists throughout this video and others that I do. I try to give credit for ideas that inspire me, and if I miss mentioning someone, I apologize for that. So, today I'm only sharing books that I am currently using. We won't talk about all the others that are patiently waiting for me to come back to them, including art journals and junk journals, but that's a topic for a whole other video someday. When I say I'm currently using them, that doesn't mean I work in every one every day or even weekly, really. But these are the ones that I go to for different purposes or when I'm in different moods in my current art practice. So, what is in this stack? There are some notebooks for organizing my life and my art, and lots of sketchbooks. I'm not going to flip through all of them in this video because if I did that, we would still be here at this time next week. But if you want more information about any of these, or if you want to see more of any of them, drop me a comment and I'll either answer your question or I'll try to make sure that I include those books in future videos. So let's start with the non-sketchbooks. This is a planner. I've gone through a million planners, trying different things since I retired. When I worked all the time, I had a system that worked for me, but then I retired and I didn't need that same system anymore. So, what I have used for the last several years that I find works best for me, even though I've tried several other things in between, is sort of a modified bullet journal type thing that I have adapted to work for me. And I'm not going to go into great detail about this. If you want to know more, I can do a video on that. But I like to buy the cheapo composition books that you get when school starts, when school supplies come out. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you can get them for $1 a piece. So I just have kind of made it work for me. I have notes. It's kind of a brain dump. I have schedule. Um, anyway, I like the grid paper. So that's my planner. I try to keep track of what I do each day um, in my creative world. I don't always keep up with that, but it's nice to look back later. So that's my planner. And then this is just a little book that I got from Amazon. It's just a plain little book, but it's kind of like a little nature journal. I like to sit out and have coffee on the deck with the birds in the mornings. And if I see something interesting, I like to write it down. This is my reading log, fun little journal I got years ago. I just like to keep track of the books I read. I started using this on a regular basis at the beginning of 2025 when I joined a book club. Is when I really got back into reading a lot. So that's my book log, reading log. This is a commonplace book, and I wrote in here what a commonplace book is: a way to compile knowledge, usually by writing information into books, essentially scrapbooks filled with items of every kind. Mostly mine is quotes. I love words and quotes. And so I just write them in here. Sometimes, I don't know, I like it to look kind of fun, not just a list. So yeah, that's mostly what that is. Sometimes I'll just jot something down on a little post-it and save it for later, and then I stick it in my commonplace book. So that's really fun. And last but not least, in the non-sketchbook category, is this beautiful Frida journal that I got a few years ago. And I just kind of, when I'm thinking about where I want to go with my art or working things out, I just kind of write my thoughts in here. So this is, it's not a daily journal, it's just, but it's a written journal that's just devoted to my art. So that's that. And then we have this little stack. These are not sketchbooks, but they're art related. This is my color journal. I it's just a treasure. I do color mixing. I keep track of the colors. Sometimes I swatch things, but I've just fun mixes, and then I can go back and look at it later. Sometimes like here I compared all the different uh, brands of Payne's Gray that I have to see what they look like. All my blues here. So um, yeah, this is something I really treasure. And I do have an older video on my YouTube um, if you want to look back, where I talk a little bit more about this color journal. All right, then Lindsay Green is an artist that I follow on YouTube who does a lot of fun things with color. And so this is an idea I got from her. This is sort of a color journal, but I try different color palettes in here that I've never used before. And I mix the colors. This is what I start with. These are all the basic colors that they're mixed from. And then do a little, not just swatching them, but putting them together and seeing how they look together. And check out Lindsay Green. She's got some great videos on this kind of thing. So that's what this little book is. And then, oops, I'm bumping things. This is just a children's book that I bought for 50 cents at a thrift store, and I just smear leftover paint in here. And it's, I don't know, someday maybe I'll paint over the top of it or not. I don't know. I use that about every day. Another person that I saw that I followed on Substack, Lindsay Francis, talked about morning pages. And if you're familiar with Julia Cameron and The Artist's Way, she says that we should just write stream of consciousness, brain dump, 3 pages every morning. And that just doesn't work for a lot of people, including me. And Lindsay Francis came up with morning pages for visual artists, where you just basically play with color and just smush some paint around. And I have been enjoying that. It doesn't matter what it looks like, really. It's just the act of putting some paint down on paper, and it just gets me warmed up. So I just used a notebook that I already had used in the past, another cheapo composition book. So I really am enjoying that. I don't do it every single day, but it's just a great way to get warmed up before you start painting. Now, you can see how I feel about The Artist's Way. It was not for me. I tried it. I listened to the audiobook. I tried reading the book. I tried doing the things. It just did not work for me. So I decided, I'm sorry if you're a Julia Cameron fan, this is sacrilege, I'm sure. But I turned my Artist's Way book into a black and white, kind of like the morning pages, but it's all black and white. And I just play with, there's some collage there, black and white. I love color so much, but there's just something so satisfying about just black against the pages. So this is how I'm using The Artist's Way. I'm, if that offends you, I'm sorry, but different strokes for different folks. Now let's get to the fun stuff. I've got a stack, big stack. I'm dragging them over here of sketchbooks. Look at this. All my sketchbooks. No, not all my sketchbooks. The sketchbooks I'm currently using. This is the little Talons art creation for, I'm going to move this because that puts it too close to the screen. So I'm going to scoot these back over. A little like 4x7, 4.7 inches, about a 5-inch, and I painted the cover. Just a little quickie sketch. So I've been doing coffee cups lately. So that's a quick little, sometimes I just want to do something really quick. Sometimes I take it with me when I go out. Not going to do a tour. We can do that another time. Then I have this little cheapo paper Walmart sketchbook that I just practiced some sketches in, whatever. This was an online drawing. I just grabbed this. I don't really paint in it. It's just for, um, quick little sketches. This is, this one has a dedicated purpose. There was a online challenge, still life paint challenge, alphabet dare. It was conversations with Canvas, on Instagram, got me started on this. And I think I still have these maybe in my highlights. One little still life for every letter of the alphabet. And I got all the way to T. I have not finished, but I am going to finish because I'm so close. And I'll maybe flip through that when it's done. That's just, this one is made by Ugly Books. And if you haven't tried them, I'd give them a try. The paper is really nice. It's thick. It takes paint well. I don't know about watercolor because I don't really do that. But they're nice little sketchbooks, and they come in different sizes and so many fun colors. So, Ugly Books. They're on Instagram too. All right. This is a little concertina. It started out with, I did this color palette and I was just using these colors, but then I got tired of that. So it is mostly collage with a little bit of paint, and it's transparent collage. I was playing with that, which I was inspired by Maribeth Quinn. She does beautiful things with collage and paint, and check her out on YouTube. Anyway, so sometimes I just want to do something that I don't really have to think about, and collage does that for me. So the transparent collage is like on tissue paper and making paint skins and that kind of thing. And you can check out Maribeth Quinn to learn more about that. Okay, these two little books, Linda Marcel, who's Beginner's Mind, Art Mind on YouTube and Substack and Instagram and all the places, she shared just an old book that she was using for a sketchbook. And I've used old books for art journals, but I hadn't really used one for a sketchbook. But I picked up these two at a thrift store, Treasures of Inspiration and Flowers That Never Fade, which I thought were absolutely perfect for me to use for sketchbooks. And I've just been painting in them. This one's mostly still life. So far, I just have a few pages. I'll give you a flip through of that someday. This one, of course, is oops, my stack just fell over. Is flowers. It's going to be all flowers. So, yeah, I'll give you a flip through of that someday. Not going to flip through today. Got to rearrange my stack over here. Everything's falling. All right, this is the only black sketchbook I've ever had, and I love it. For some things, it ended up being birds. I just started putting birds in it, and I love the way the colors pop off that black background. So yeah, this is my bird book. So again, another day we'll flip through. Sometimes I just want to sketch a little, and this is an old music book. I gessoed the pages. Some of them have collage, and it is nothing but black and white sketches of faces. I think they're all charcoal, actually. Maybe some Stabilo. I love sketching with charcoal. So that's that. This is my workhorse. I did a tour a while back. You can see it on my YouTube of a similar one like this. That's just a little bit of everything. I grab it to work things out. I mean, it's just completely random stuff. And it's a cheapo book that I think I bought on clearance from Hobby Lobby. It is not good paper. It's just, I mean, it's like cheap drawing paper, but it works just fine. It's just a workhorse, and I have a long way to go in this one. I'm running out of places to stack things. Let me move this over here. I don't buy expensive sketchbooks. Because the way I use my sketchbooks, I don't want them to feel precious. And if I buy an expensive one, then I feel like I have to put good art in it, and I don't want that pressure. So this is another clearance one, I think, I always hit the clearance aisle at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. Um, and I have just smeared front paint on the front, but then I put this Rick Rubin quote: "Tune in to what enlivens you in the moment instead of what you think will work." And this one is just landscapes, but they're not finished. They're just experiments, playing around, trying different things. Didn't finish that. Just random stuff. It's nice heavy paper though. Um, Master's Touch. So yeah, so it came from Hobby Lobby. This big mama also came from Hobby Lobby. This book, see how big it is? It's like 11 by 14. I paid $4.50 for this book on clearance because I think it had a dent in the cover or something. For the longest time, I wouldn't use it because it was big. And so I thought I had to do something good or special in it. And then I finally decided that's just really stupid. It cost $4.50. So I painted the cover. I got on a binge where I was painting everything in my art studio. And this one's just kind of some random stuff. Let me zoom out a little bit if I can. Nope, I can't. Yeah, I don't know. It's just random. So I just decided I just needed to use it. That one is has oil pastels, so I have to keep tissue over it. So yeah, I'm just doing big stuff in here. I don't like everything in my sketchbooks. Like, let's for example, this, I don't like how that turned out. I thought I might come back and finish it, but I've just abandoned it. Maybe someday, but probably not. But the way I feel is it's just a sketchbook. It's just to experiment and play. So you will see a lot of unfinished things in my sketchbooks. All right. Now I have this one. It's also an 11 by 14, a mixed media sketchbook. And this one is just faces. And I've been using it through the years. Been using it for a long time. At one point, I would do something and then I would just write my notes on the back, what I thought about it or what I was doing. Some of these things are from different classes that I've taken. I was copying some Matisse portraits. So that is too. Yeah, they're just faces. So when I was watching the show Harlots, I was inspired to do her. Another copy of a Matisse. But I just wrote some notes on the back. This was a painting that I recently did. I did a practice run first. So it's big, and I just sometimes when I'm doing a face, I want to do something a little bigger, but I don't want to commit to canvas. And I have one brand new sketchbook that I have not started yet. It's a Talon's Art Creations. Love these little sketchbooks. I did a tour of one just recently that I finished, and this one is brand spanking new, just waiting for me to get started. Maybe I will show you what I do on the first pages of this. We'll see. All right, so that is a wrap on the books that I am currently using. I could show you a whole shelf and drawer full of others, but we won't go there today. So if you have any questions, drop me a comment. If you want to see more of any of these, let me know in a comment. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more of what I'm doing, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to get better about sharing regular videos. So thank you for watching and have a great day.